Welcome to the Healthy Living Revolution Live. My name is Reagan Dean. The Healthy Living Revolution is a movement of people who are taking healthy back, and we're offering this series to bring some simple solutions and simple education. Our speaker for this episode is Liza Pepple. Liza graduated with a degree in chemical engineering from Clemson University in 2002, and she worked in agriculture and food before she began working at Juice Plus. She is the quality manager for Juice Plus product line, and she also was in product management and development roles for the company. She is now the director of product innovation and is responsible for the development of the newest member of the Juice Plus family of products, the Juice Plus Omega Blend. So Liza, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm super excited to ask you some questions that often come up about what makes Juice Plus products such high quality and why people will want to add them to their nutrition regime. So thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure, certainly. I'm always happy to help educate people on Juice Plus and what makes it so special. It's amazing. So
I know a lot of growers, especially in the Midwest, are growing a lot of genetically modified produce. Are there any genetically modified produce items at all in any of the Juice Plus products?
The answer to that is an easy no. There are no genetically modified ingredients in Juice Plus products. And interestingly, something that people don't know, there's not a lot of produce that's actually been genetically modified. There's a lot of people have this impression that, everything has been genetically modified. And that's really not true. They've just recently done a genetic modification to apples, and that was really one of the first fruits other than papaya that had ever been genetically modified. So it's not as big a concern as many people think it is, but the answer to that question is and will continue to be for as long as I'll be around. We will not use genetically modified ingredients in Juice Plus.
And what about the soy? I mean, because that tends to be the one that, most people worry because there's a lot of GMO soy out there, but soy, people see soy on a label now and they like, why is our soy different than some of the soys that we get in the plant milks and things like that on the market now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So first of all, although there is a lot of genetically modified soy out there, there is quite a lot. There's a lot of soy that's grown. So if 90% of the soy that's grown is genetically modified, that means 10% is not. So of that 10%, that's still quite a lot of soy. So it's not like we're hurting for sources of non-GMO soys. So that's one way where our product is different, certainly, is that we have really great non-GMO farmers for soy. And these are farmers that didn't switch to genetic modification and then switch back. These are farmers who have never grown genetically modified produce of any kind on their field. So we know that there's no potential for cross-contamination. These aren't farmers who grow GMO and non-GMO. These are really people who buy in and have bought in from the very beginning to the non-GMO movement. So that certainly helps. The other thing that we do that's different than a lot of people in the soy world is that we process using a water wash process rather than a solvent extraction process. So soy starts with about 35 to 40% protein. I think I might be wrong there now that I'm thinking about it. It might be a little bit more, but it's somewhere, around there, I believe. But you have to be able to bring, it is about 35 to 40%. I'm just, my own head is, it's Friday. So they're working on getting this process improved so that you don't have to use solvents to get the protein out of the bean. You can use water, just different temperatures of water that really extract the protein out of the bean itself after it's been de-oiled is what it's called. And we can use, there's a lot of different processes for de-oiling. The best one is called pressing. And interestingly, it's the same process that you would get like olive oil. It's just taking the seed and crushing it together. The oil comes out and then the bean goes the other way. And that's what we use water on to increase the protein content. So our soy protein not only hasn't had stringent chemicals touch it, but it also it maintains a lot more of the nutrients of the original soybean. So there's a lot of things that if you add like alcohol or another solvent to the soybean, it'll strip a lot of kind of the micronutrients out with it. And our soy will have a lot more of those that go along with it. So it's a lot gentler on your stomach. And it doesn't have any residual solvents associated with it as well.
And the soy issue, like people always ask, why do we even have soy in our complete? And the soy is only in our complete shake, but why is it in there versus another source?
So soy is the best plant protein available. It is the only complete amino acid profile protein from plants available. If you use other plant sources, you would have to use multiple plant sources in very particular fractions in order to get a complete amino acid profile. And that's very important to us, is something that can be digested by your body and used readily without your body having to subsidize with other things or make things on its own to help counteract what you're putting in. So that's certainly one of the reasons. And another reason is that there's a lot of controversy around soy that's not necessarily warranted.
Right.
So when you're looking at, things on the internet, for example, if you're looking at negative stories, I always say really look hard at the source of those stories. Go down to the references. First of all, if there are no references, I would never believe a story that didn't have references personally, but I'm a science geek, so that's kind of my thing to begin with. But I always look to the references to see if the references make it clear that what they're saying in the article is true, or if they've taken things out of context from the references. So if you do that around soy, you'll really see a very different story emerging.
Absolutely. Very safe. And
Yes.
doesn't cause all the issues that people say, unless some of the GMO soy maybe, because it's like you said, it's very different.
And there certainly are people who are allergic to soy, and I would never say if you're allergic to soy that our soy is okay. That is a totally different issue altogether. And we do have a non-soy version of our complete bar, by the way, just for those people who want to have convenient nutrition on the go, but who are allergic to soy.
It's quite delicious too, I might add.
Yeah.
So all of our products are vegetarian, but are we vegan?
Yes, we are. We don't have vegan certification simply because there are several certifying bodies around, both vegan and non-GMO, and we're really trying to do our best to be careful with who we partner with. So we're investigating all kinds of organizations to see what their support level is, what their requirements are, to make sure that we understand exactly what we're getting into. A lot of certifying organizations are really just around to make money, and they don't really understand what they're dealing with. So we're really trying to make sure that anybody that we partner with is as passionate about agriculture and products and quality as we are. So we have not yet found a vegan certifying organization, but we are investigating. But in the meantime, I can say that our products do not contain any animal product or byproducts. They are all, with the exception of complete bars, which contain honey. The rest of the products are vegan.
Wow. So even
our capsules will be, I say that because I know that we're already
the secret's out.
They're very close to vegan on capsules. Can I say that?
Yes. I have a feeling they might be in test market maybe, huh?
Well, yeah, for quite a lot of the world, they are all vegan. US is very much on its way.
And people can always eat the chewables or open up those capsules if that's a concern. So
absolutely. In the meantime, definitely. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for working on that. I know that sometimes those vegan capsules aren't as strong, and we put a lot of produce powder in there, and that's why we haven't shifted that direction, but now we are, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we've been working on this for over 10 years.
I know, it's great. So the other thing that people see on our label is a few lists of vitamins that are added, key nutrients that are balanced throughout the product. Why do we add those? And why is that different from a lot of other companies out there that really are just a vitamin and they actually added in a little broccoli powder and said, well, we're whole food. It's very different. Can you explain the difference, why we do that and what the difference is?
Absolutely. So we do that actually because we're a nutrition label. We are required to label certain nutrients. And we're required to have those nutrients remain stable throughout the shelf life of the product. And we're required to have the labels stay consistent. Well, we're not required to have the labels stay consistent. Theoretically, we could change the labels every time, but we'd have to do, it would end up costing a lot more money if we had to do it that way. But so early on, we decided that the easiest way to approach this would be to add back some of the key nutrients, certainly the ones that have to be labeled, and some of the key nutrients that really come from fruits and vegetables to begin with. So what we've done is tried to find the most whole food sources of these ingredients. And throughout the years, we've gotten better and better. The technology has improved a lot. And now we have even, instead of having isolated beta carotene alone or isolated vitamin E alone, we've really started to switch to more of a blended version. So now we have a mixed carotenoid blend that includes beta carotene, which comes from an algae source. But we also have a lot of other natural carotenoids, and things like spirulina that are an amazing natural carotenoid supplier, in and of itself, which is a great ingredient. And on the tocopherol side, rather than having just the alpha tocopherol, which is the only tocopherol that is allowed to be labeled as vitamin E, there are actually 8 tocopherols, 4 tocopherols and 4 tocotrienols. Sorry, this is my expertise area. I get in a little hole here. Sorry. There's vitamin E is only alpha tocopherol. There's a whole bunch of other things that kind of are around alpha tocopherol, and in nature, actually gamma tocopherol is the most prevalent rather than alpha tocopherol. So what we did is we started to put the tocopherols in the ratio that they're found in nature. So our capsules now have more gamma tocopherol than alpha tocopherol, even though the label only allows us to speak to the alpha tocopherol levels, which is why if you've been around for a really long time, you probably remember a couple years ago, we went through a change to our capsules and some of the levels dropped. And that was because we were adding more mixed varieties rather than single nutrients. And that's as we've gone through and really found ways to add more nutrients from whole foods, and all of these come from whole foods. The tocopherols come from soybean oil and sunflower seed oil, and the carotenoids come from algae and marigolds. So these are great natural ingredients that have natural levels of these wonderful nutrients. So as we've gone through and have been able to add more and more whole food sources of these, that really helps us to differentiate ourselves from the vitamin people out there who not only are they using isolated vitamins, but most of the time those isolated vitamins are synthetic. And quite a lot of the time, those synthetic vitamins are different than the ones that you find in nature. So again, I'll use tocopherol or vitamin E as an example here. But the way that the chemical compound for vitamin E is put together, the synthetic version may have the same number of carbons and hydrogens, but it has a different alignment that your body doesn't recognize the same way. So when your body doesn't recognize something, it tries to do something else with it. And it really can create some of the problems that you see with some of the clinical studies. And that's why our clinical studies, 37 clinical studies at this point in time, have shown the benefits of Juice Plus. And 25 years of selling Juice Plus has shown that there aren't any side effects from our product.
Right. So it's still food levels. And I know my daughter ate a 2 month supply of the chewables and she was fine. But I was mad, but she was fine. So very safe. It's good to know I didn't have to call poison control or anything like that.
Right. And if she had eaten a 2 month supply of Flintstone vitamins, you certainly would have had to call poison control.
Absolutely. So at first I went, and then I went, oh yeah, wait, it's just food. So speaking of that research, we've got, approaching 30 studies. We're actually said 37 now we're up to.
Yeah.
Almost 40 studies. And, we know that we're having positive changes at a cellular level for people that are eating their Juice Plus consistently. But a lot of people will ask, does Juice Plus pay for that research? And, are those results independent of the company? Would you share a little bit more about the research process?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the areas that I get a little bit passionate about as well. So, there's people often say, well, Juice Plus paid for those studies, so you can't trust the results. Well, I don't know who these people think pay for clinical studies if it isn't companies, because people wouldn't do clinical studies. Research organizations and universities don't have the money to fund studies on their own. So what we do at Juice Plus, we don't actually pay for the study. We give the university an unrestricted grant that they can use for whatever they want. And usually it's either the amount of the study, the amount that the study would cost, or sometimes a bit more to help them, in general, just to support the university. But the reality of the situation is that we are not at all connected to the study until it's finished and unblinded, until it's been until the results have been reviewed by a statistician, and then the researcher will share the results with us, but we aren't allowed to tell them what to say in a publication or whether they publish or not. So we really don't have any control of the study at all, except for the product that we provide to the study site, which of course is Juice Plus. But that's the limit of the control that we have. We provide an unrestricted grant that they can use for whatever they feel they want to. And then we really just get to see the results play out. And sometimes they play out exactly how we expected them to. Sometimes they play out in a very different way than we expected them to. And we have really no control over that at all. And we don't control whether they get published or what the scientists say in the publications.
So that's like the best research you could have in the world, right?
It is. Mm-hmm. And yeah. we actually have, I believe, 2 or 3 published studies that have been done using outside grants. So those are ones that the only thing we provided was the study material, and like the National Institutes of Health actually provided the grant money for it in one case, and I think there was another organization that provided grant money for another one. So that happens sometimes as well, less frequently because it's National Institutes of Health has quite a lot on their plate, but we certainly welcome anybody wants to test in our products.
That's awesome. So we're coming out with a new product, the Omega Blend, another capsule. And is this going to meet the same guidelines and requirements of all of our other capsule products?
Absolutely. So as we were developing this product, one of the main things that we had from the very beginning was it has to be whole food based, which means that we didn't want it has to be vegetarian or vegan and whole food based, which means that, there was no fish oil going to enter our product, and that we really needed to understand the processing steps of all of the fruit and vegetable seed oils that we were using. So we found some seed suppliers and started working with oil pressing companies to make sure that we understood what they were doing and that they're testing this to the same strict standards as all of the rest of our produce tests to as well. So all of our standards are the same regardless of what the product is for Juice Plus.
So we'll see some new research studies coming out on the Omega Blend.
We are certainly working on it. Yes. We have, whenever we start anything, we go through kind of a phased approach for clinical research. So we're in phase 2 of 4 right now. So we're just about finished with phase 2, about to start phase 3, and then phase 4 will be a published clinical study, and we expect that within the next 18 to 24 months. It does take quite a long time to do a clinical study completed and published. So it does take a little patience, but we are absolutely in process already.
Fantastic. I have just 2 more questions. The other question that comes up is, why do we ship everything in a 4-month supply?
So actually, the reasoning behind that is, in my opinion, brilliant. I didn't come up with it, obviously, but really for products like Juice Plus, for the Orchard Garden and Vineyard capsules, you shouldn't expect to see results on day 1. This is another reason why we don't have sample packs, for example, for Orchard Garden and Vineyard capsules, because you shouldn't expect to see results. This isn't a product you take once and you're done with. You really don't see the whole result of what this product can do until about the 4th month. So that's why we like to ship in 4-month supply, so that people have the opportunity to really feel the difference and start to appreciate what the product is doing inside of your body. So it has a chance to really start to actually change how your body operates, which is important to us.
Takes a while for those cells to turn over, right?
It certainly does. It certainly does.
All right, last question, Liza. You've been so amazing. So we know Juice Plus is not a cure for any disease. It's not really meant to replace eating fresh, raw fruits and vegetables. So in your opinion, what do you see is the biggest benefit for adding Juice Plus to one's diet?
For me, it's a no-brainer. Our clinical studies show the benefits of adding Juice Plus for cardiovascular health, immune function, inflammation. Some of the more recent clinical studies have shown benefits on the cellular level, on the nutrigenomic level. We've got clinical studies that show great benefits from Complete, for example. Personally, I take Juice Plus because I look better when I take Juice Plus. And I am at a certain age where my skin health is important to me. So, you can see the results. I'm also a very active person. I love to jump on trampolines, and, I love to ski and run and golf. And when I don't take Juice Plus, before I started taking Juice Plus, I really could feel the aging process starting. And this was 10 years ago. I can only imagine what I would feel like today if I weren't taking Juice Plus every day. And it really, I think, it really helps me to be able to maintain a healthy, active lifestyle. I travel quite a lot. I'm on the road at least 50% of the time, some months more. And that means I'm on an airplane, and I'm in an enclosed box with a bunch of people who don't take care of themselves at all. And I don't get sick. And that to me is a huge benefit.
Well, certainly you are the picture of health, and thank you so much for all of this amazing information. And for me, it makes me just feel even more excited to share it with other people, because gosh, it's really hard to be healthy out there these days with all of the boxed and packaged and fast foods that seem to come our way in our busy lifestyle. So I'm really glad that we have Juice Plus as a resource to flood our body with all of these amazing plants. So thank you so much for your time today. And, for everybody that's listening, we just encourage you to get back with the person who invited you to this webinar to learn more. Thank you again, Liza, and thank you all for joining us.